angels come out to play.
Prepare the troops. We've faced impossible odds before. Together we can do it again.
Welcome back to the Nerdy Grail, and welcome to this third and final video in this ranking every song from Hazbin Hotel. I've done two videos on this in the past. The first one was a ranking of every song from Hazbin Hotel Season 1. And then I also did a ranking of every song from Hazbin Hotel Season 2 in two separate videos. But in today's video, I am going to be doing an ultimate ranking of every single song from Hazbin Hotel. So all the songs from Season 1 and Season 2 all combined together in this one video. All 36 songs to give you my ultimate opinion on all the songs. Keep in mind with these lists, this is just my personal opinion. So if your favourite song is slightly lower on the list, then that is okay. It's just my personal opinion. So let's just keep all comments respectful below if you wish to leave a comment on this video giving me your favourite lists. But without any further ado, we're not going to waste any more time. Let's jump straight into this list of ranking every single song from Hazbin Hotel. Okay then, so this is my ranking every song from Hazbin Hotel. So that this video isn't hours long, I'm not going to dwell too long on each song. You can watch my separate videos on the Season 1 ranking and Season 2 ranking if you want my full in-depth analysis on every song. I'm just going to go through and tell you which one's my least favourite to my personal favourite. So my least favourite Hazbin Hotel song actually comes from Season 1, and it actually is the More Than Anything, the reprise version. So this is the version with Vaggie and Charlie. The original version was with Lucifer and Charlie. Yeah, it's a shortened version of the song. It is sweet, it is nice, and can I just preface before this now and state that every song in Hazbin Hotel is really, really good. So none of them are bad, but just some I wouldn't go back and listen to more than others. And unfortunately for me, it is one that sort of gets lost in my memory. I sometimes even forget that there was two versions of this song. But yeah, it's nice, but it's not truly memorable if I'm being perfectly honest. So for me, that's why it is bottom of the barrel on my list for Hazbin Hotel songs. Unfortunately then, another song from Season 1 does come then in 35th place then on my list. This one might annoy some people, because I know some people really do like this song, and I get it, don't get me wrong, it is a good song as well, but it is actually Out For Love, which is from Season 1, which is mostly sung by Vaggie and from Camilla Carmine. Yeah, look, it's a nice song. You know, it's good. I like the choreography, the dancing and all that's going between Vaggie and Camilla. I think that is really, really good. But again, it's just not one that truly sticks out to me as one that is truly memorable and one that I go back and listen to on a daily basis. So that's why for me it is quite low on the list. Then, if I'm being honest, we do then also have another song from Hazbin Hotel Season 1. Yeah, you can probably tell that I do slightly prefer some of the songs in Season 2. But don't get me wrong, there are going to be some Season 1 songs that are going to be quite high on this list. But that is going to be the Welcome to Heaven song, which, yeah, it's a catchy beat, don't get me wrong. You know, I like it, you know, and you got all the brightness of heaven, and obviously it's in the introduction episode to Heaven where you get a full, you know, where Charlie's gone up to heaven with Vaggie and this and the other. You get to see a lot to heaven, you get to get an idea of what heaven is like. But if I'm being perfectly honest, it's, again, apart from having a really catchy beat, it's not one that I've gone back to listen to on the vinyl. I've not listened to it much on YouTube, you know, and that's sort of what's happened, really, if I'm being honest. With some of these songs, they've just sort of vanished into the ether a little bit and not really popped up in my memories. But yeah, so that's why that one's down in 34th place. Then in 33rd place on my list, this one, you know, if you've watched my ranking of Hazbin Hotel Season 2, you kind of know my thoughts on this one. I'm not a massive fan of Speedrun to Redemption. Yeah, again, it's another one that just sort of rushes through the tempo. It's not the worst song imaginable, but yeah, I kind of find it annoying. I don't know if that's just me. I know my fiance's not also a huge fan of Speedrun to Redemption, but it's not one, when it comes to songs, I like to be able to, be able to sing the words in my head or be able to follow along with the songs. But Speedrun to Redemption, obviously I know speedrun, it's supposed to be quick, it's supposed to be fast paced, but with a song I'd like to be able to sing along to it. I don't think I can do that to Speedrun to Redemption, and it just seems a bit all over the place. But I suppose that does reflect Charlie's more manic nature and crazed nature that she's got in season 2. But again, I'm just not a huge fan of Speedrun to Redemption, to be perfectly honest, so that's why it's down in 33rd place on my list. Then, if I'm being honest, I think then is another Season 2 song, and that is Sarah's Confession. Again, if you've seen my ranking of Hazbin Hotel Season 2 songs, you know that Sarah's Confession is also not very high on that list. I'm just not a massive fan, and I don't know whether that comes from I'm not an awful massive fan of a lot of the Heaven side of Hazbin Hotel. That's just me personally, and Sarah as a character is a good character, and she's definitely grown a lot more, and I prefer her more in season 2 as I did to season 1, but she's just not got enough for me yet, and I'm hoping then in season 3 that's going to come out more and more. But yeah, it's just not really my cup of tea, that song, so it's not really one that I go back to listen to. And if I'm honest, if I look at my playlist of songs, which ones I've listened to most to least, I think I've maybe listened to this one twice since watching it when the episode first aired. So yeah, it's not one that I go back to listen to very often, if I'm honest. Coming then in 31st place then, this is one that I feel people will be probably very disappointed that it is this low on the list, because I know for some people they really like it, and I can see why. It's just, for me, it's not the greatest, and that is Losing Streak from season 2. This is Angel's solo song, coming directly on from Husk's solo song Love in a Bottle, which obviously in season 1, Angel got a solo song in Poison, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, but we'll get onto that later in the list. I feel like Losing Streak, it was a bit more slower paced, which is fine and good, but it just felt off to me, and it's not really one that I find myself going back to listen to, or one that I really want to play. I find it's more of the upbeat ones that I kind of like to listen to a lot more. This is more down tempo, which is, again, fine, and if you love this song, great, and I can definitely see why. It's great for character development, and Husk's reaction to Angel through the music video and everything of this song is brilliant as well, by the way. I love Husk's reaction. But yeah, it's just not one massively for me. Then moving on to 30th place then, it does get a little bit more tricky. Some songs have actually come down in my estimation since, and for me it's going to be It Starts With Sorry. Now look, I love Serpentious. Serpentious is great. Alex Brightman is fantastic, and I love the episode that this comes from, It Starts With Sorry. I think it's a really, really good episode in my personal opinion. And you've got Serpentious, who's been infiltrating the Hazbin Hotel for Vox as a spy. He gets caught, and so Charlie's trying to teach him the ways of being good, and so saying It Starts With Sorry. I love Angel and all, who are basically like, we don't trust him, they get out guns and start threatening him. It's a nice little song, but it's, again, not one that really truly jumps out and springs to mind for me. I'm not really, massively keen on that one, if I'm perfectly honest. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to pause the video just a quick second. So moving then on into 29th place then, again, this gets a little bit more tricky as time goes on. I think probably the next one is probably Live to Live from season 2. Again, it's the Heaven songs for me that don't really stick to me, because with the Hell songs, a lot of them are quite upbeat, a lot of them are quite dramatic and tense and have a good bass drop, whereas obviously the Heaven songs are lighter and calmer, that sort of thing. It's sweet, and I love, all the songs, realistically, that Alex Brightman is a part of. I think he's really, really great. It's nice to see Sarah and Serpentious singing together. It's a nice song, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a massive fan of it. And again, in my playlist, it would be a lot lower down on my list, if I'm perfectly honest. And it is. I've not listened to it an awful lot. I've listened to it more than some of the songs that come below it, but just not dramatically. So that is why it's down here at number 29 on the list. Moving then on into 28th place, it does get harder because, to be fair, all the songs are really starting to get really good, and it feels bad to put any of these songs that low. But I think I'm going to put You Didn't Know. I think that's probably going to come next on my list, if I'm perfectly honest. This is, it's got like dramatic reveals. You've got Emily and Charlie battling off against the likes of Adam and Lute and Sarah. They're clashing, over information passed and information given out. And so it's like, yeah, it's quite nice in a degree, but again, it's not one that is massively memorable to me and one that sticks out dramatically for me. So yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to place it. But yeah, I enjoy it enough to where it's not rock bottom of the list. Then we're going to go with a song from season 1, and that is Whatever It Takes. I'm not a massive fan of Whatever It Takes. I think it's a nice song, but it comes straight off a song which I really, really like. This one is obviously predominantly done by Camilla, Carmine, and Vaggie again. It's nice, but yeah, it's just not one that stands out. I'm sorry, there's not much more I can say to it. There's not really much more that stands out. I like what the song stands for, and there's lots of people, you can read it in multiple different ways. I like to think of it more as like, both characters will do whatever it takes to defend their land, defend their people, to protect the ones they love. I like all that, and I think that is great, and you can definitely tell that through the song at times. But in terms of a song, just in general, that I'd want to put on and listen to time and time again, yeah, it's not really one of those, if I'm perfectly honest. So that's why it's this low on the list for me. Okay, then moving on again. This is getting really, really tough because I do really like every single one of the songs that is left, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, I don't really know. Ooh, it's tough. But I think, if I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna go with the finale song from season 1 as the next song, because when I compare the finale song of season 1 to season 2, Hear My Hope from season 2 pops in a lot more than the finale. I like the finale. You've got all the characters coming together. They rebuild the hotel. They mourn like losses of characters, but you can tell they're all united now together, and that's quite nice and sweet, and I like that. And you get a kind of happy ending. But again, it's just not a truly massively memorable one to me. And to be honest, apart from a couple of scenes in the actual finale itself, the finale episode for me is a bit of a lackluster one, especially compared to season 2, when Vox is going ham with the big weapon and shooting it everywhere, and you've got then the big fight between Alistair and Vox. There's lots of scenes in that are more memorable to me than season 1. And I have checked out season 1 again recently since watching season 2, especially since I got season 1 on physical media on Blu-ray, which I thought was fantastic. But yeah, the finale for me, it does not truly stick out as fully memorable for me. So that's why it's down at 26th place on my list. Then the next song for me that I think is probably going to come quite low is, again, it's getting tough, but I think, in my personal opinion, based on what I've listened to and what I enjoyed, I think I'm going to go with Bad With Us from season 2. Again, this is quite an interesting, fun little song. Obviously Vox has won in terms of he's managed to capture Alistair, he owns a radio demon, this, that and the other. He's paraded him around to all the overlords, and he's now going around all the different overlords and trying to recruit them for his cause, and that's pretty much what it is. And you get to see more about Vox's character. And it's interesting, it's nice, and it's a bit of a fun song. But again, not one that I listen to very often. I have started to listen to it a lot more recently. It is a bit of fun and interesting, there's a bit of racism in there from Vox right at the end, and I like Val's reaction to it, the old cha-cha-cha, and then Val's like, stop it. I love all that. It's great and fun. So it's a fun song, just not overly memorable for me, and so that's why it's a lot lower on the list than it would be. Then moving on into 24th place, I'm going to personally put, I think I'm going to go for, there's two that's in my head and I'm trying to determine which one's going to go before the other. I think I'm going to go with the very first song from Hazbin Hotel. Yeah, the very first ever song, which is Happy Day in Hell. Now, don't get me wrong, Happy Day in Hell is great. I love Charlie going through all the streets, seeing all the violence, all the gore, everything that's going on. You know, it's great, and it really sets the scene and sets the tone of the show. But just, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, really, it's sort of just, it does start to fall further and further back the more songs get released that season. And then obviously with the introduction of season 2, it does fall short again. But don't get me wrong, I think Erica does a fantastic job all through this song. It is a little catchy at times. I do like it. It is a good song. It's just a lot lower on the list because a lot more songs have come out that I'm more likely to listen to than Happy Day in Hell, unfortunately. Okay, then moving on, let's move this one up a little bit. Then moving on to 23rd place on the list, I'm then going to give it then to the other song that I was thinking of, which is Like You from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Yeah, I quite like You. It is definitely my favourite full heaven song from Season 2, because there is another one where it's a bit partially in heaven and stuff like that, but full heaven song in Season 2, it is my favourite. I do like the happy beat. I like that Emily is trying to basically say to Serpentius, unfortunately, you can't go back to hell, you can't see your friends again, but don't worry, you're going to make lots of new friends here, and you're going to have a great time, because you're unique, no one else can do what you do, and so they're going to want to know how you do the things you do, and it's great, and I like that Emily's trying to convince him, and I think that is really, really good. And it is a bit of fun. And then the bit at the end where Serpentius tries to end it all again, but then it comes out as confetti, and he's like, "Oh, they're telling the truth." You know, it's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? That shocked me when I watched the episode the first time when Serpentius did that. But yeah, it is a bit of a fun song, but that it's a little bit lower on the list because again, there's a lot more songs that I'm more likely to put on and listen to than that one. Okay, the next song that's going to come onto my list for me is Easy, which is the like romance love song that sort of everyone has sort of been waiting for between Charlie and Vaggie, you know, because obviously since they're a couple, you've had obviously like the More Than Anything reprise, but you've not really got to see their relationship beyond being with the others, so a bit more one-on-one time with each other, and so it was quite interesting to see that. I remember again there was a couple of shocks in that song, you know, a couple of images and a couple of actions that sort of like surprised some people, but yeah, it was a nice little song, don't get me wrong, and the dancing together was was interesting to say the least. It is a little bit catchy, it's not terrible, but yeah, it's could be have done a little bit more in my personal opinion, but it's nothing horrendous, so yeah, I would definitely go to Easy. Okay, then moving on, then I'd say the next song coming in at 21st place for me on the list has got to be probably going to Ready for This from Hazbin Hotel Season 1. So you've got Charlie, you've got Rosie, you've got Alistair, they're in Cannibal Town, they're trying to recruit people in order to help fight in the finale and take on the angels who are coming down to slay them. You know, again, quite a catchy beat, quite a catchy tune, but again, for me, gets a bit lost in some of my more favourite and more popular songs from Season 1. Again, not a terrible song, you know, a decent song, but not one that I go back to listen to very often. I've probably listened to this maybe 5 or 6 times. Obviously, I've listened to it again since watching a couple of episodes from Season 1 on the Blu-ray, which is quite nice and does sound quite good. And obviously on the vinyl, it sounds great as well. Any song where Alistair's present is also really good, can I say, on the vinyl soundtracks. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's all right, but doesn't quite crack into the top 20 or top 10. Which, speaking of making it into the top 20 on the list, we're then going to do the More Than Anything original version. So this is the one with Lucifer, Lucifer's first episode, when he comes in to see Charlie, see what the hotel's like, help get her a meeting with heaven. You know, he has a bit of rivalry with Alistair, which is quite fun. But they got quite a sweet moment where Charlie's basically begging him to help, and he wants to help, but he's worried what might happen. So they got a bit of a daughter-father song, which I thought was quite sweet. Visually, it was good. I know I say I like the upbeat, fast songs, so I'm kind of being a bit of a hypocrite here, but the slower pace, I think, really works in this song really well, considering the relationship of Charlie and her family, you know, like Lilith, who we might get now in season 3, and obviously Lucifer now in seasons 1 and 2, you know, it really suits that sort of tempo and beat, and so I quite like it here. So yeah, that's why for me it comes into the top 20, coming in at number 20 on the list. Right, then making it into 19th place then, we are going to go with the song, and again, there's 2 songs that's in my head, and I'm trying to determine which one will come before the other. Oh, it's getting really hard now because the songs are really good from now on. I'm going to go with When I Think About the Future. So When I Think About the Future from Hazbin Hotel Season 2, this combines lots of little different pieces. You combine lots of different characters. You got the hotel guests, you got Vox and Alistair, you got Velvet and Valentino. You get to go around everybody, and they do little mini versions of previous songs. Like in the Vox section, he does a mini one of Once I Get Up There, or Once We Get Up There. You know, so you get to see what all the characters are doing, what they're planning for the future, what might happen. And I think that's really, really good. And it's a really fun one. But for me, there's only a couple of sections that I truly love in this song, which is why I can't put it up any higher, because I only prefer certain sections of the song, and they're only small sections compared to another song where I prefer one section over the other, but it's the majority of the song. But yeah, so for me, When I Think About the Future is coming in 19th place on the list. Then coming in 18th place on the list, boy, we're getting to, we're in the big guns now. But I think for me personally, the next song I'm going to put on the list is Clean It Up. So this is, we got a nifty song. We got made a nifty solo song, and I think it is absolutely brilliant and hilarious to see, and it is great. Kimiko Glenn does a fantastic job. I love the 2 different versions, speaking in another language, when she's actually complimenting the hotel, and then speaking, what people, the viewers in the show can understand, when slating the hotel more or less, or not painting the hotel in the best light, and Charlie's in the background like, Nifty, what are you doing? Can you help? Can you help differently? I think it is really, really good. I love the animation style. I think it's terrific. It is a really catchy song, and I've also got to see the behind the scenes of that, so getting to see Kimiko behind the scenes to doing that as well, so I think that's really fun to watch as well. So check that out on YouTube, or if you can find it, watch it because it's great. But yeah, Clean It Up I think is a really good song, and that's why for me it's in 18th place. Then coming in 17th place, this is a lot lower than other people might put it, but it's just my personal opinion. It's actually Piss, a love song. Can I just say, that name for a song, absolutely outstanding and absolutely terrific. I think Piss, a love song is great. I love the 2 sides to it. I love the serpentious side of it, Up in Heaven, the more loving side of it. Then you got the Cherry Bomb, the more action-packed one. You get to see their relationship, how it was, get to see all the battles they did, and you get to see how their relationship grew through a rivalry rather than your typical love song romance. It was very different, and I thought that was great to see. I love that. The imagery of them 2 together, pressed against the walls together, wanting to see each other again, thought that was great. They're both amazing. So yeah, it is a very good one. I love the name, Piss, a Love Song. What a name for a song. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so yeah, we're coming into the high ones now. So I think now, coming in 16th place, I'm going to personally give it to Respectless from Hazbin Hotel season 1. So this is, you know, during the Overlord meeting of season 1, and you've got some truths are starting to come out and some queries are starting to come to people's minds. And you've got Velvet, one of the V's who's attended the meeting, who is basically taking on Camilla, questioning her, wanting to know more. And I just love the words, I love the actions, I love the ending, I love the face-off at the end between them. I think it's really, really good. And Velvet is showing a lack of respect. And I love that that then comes back in season 2 when Vox is trying to get Camilla on his side and basically says, yeah, my colleague here wants to apologise for what she did to you before. And I love that this song then does come full circle later on. So it really has a good payoff in the end. So yeah, I do quite like Respectless. I'd like this, and I'm glad we got to see a lot more of Velvet in season 2. So hopefully in season 3, we'll get to see a lot more of her yet again. Okay, so then coming in 15th place on the list. Again, this is getting really hard now, but I think I'm going to go with Hell is Forever from Hazbin Hotel season 1. This is in the very first episode of the series. Charlie has gone to Adam to sort of try and see if we can come to an agreement about these exterminations, see if we can stop them, see if you can give the Hazbin Hotel a trial run. And Adam is just being a dick, basically, and saying, like, nah, it's not going to happen. You can't redeem them. It's not true. And in fact, actually, I think we're just going to speed this shit up now. And it's just great. And there's some amazing one-liners from Adams. Like, guitar solo, fuck yeah. You know, it's brilliant. And I just love the way he plays his guitar and basically just tells her to get lost and get stuffed. And then just ending the song basically by saying, actually, we're gonna do this quicker now. So basically, if you hadn't come here, we would have continued to the original schedule, but actually now we're gonna speed this shit up a little bit. I just think that is brilliant. But yeah, really, really good. Love it. And that's why it's up at 15th place on the list. Okay, coming in 14th place. Like I said, this is really, really getting tough now for me. But I'm going to go with Vox Day from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. This is a very short song. This has come up a lot more in my expectations lately. But yeah, it's a very short song. It's only, I think it's about a minute and a half. You know, Vox is basically challenging Heaven now and making the people rise up against them. There's some fantastic imagery in here, some great one-liners, and it just ends with Heaven fleeing in fear and Vox like laughing hysterically in the background and Charlie just on her knees, you know, in despair. But I think it gets the message across really, really strongly of what Vox is planning, and it is done really well. Like I said, the imagery in it is beautiful, and I think with all the screens that are in the shape of like wings and shit, I think that is absolutely outstanding. And I have listened to it a fair few amount of times, and a big number of times lately. So I think, yeah, it is really, really good and a very fun song, to say the least. Okay, then moving on then into 13th place. I am going to go with, in my personal opinion, this is getting really tough now because I love every single one of these songs to death. I'm going to go with Hear My Hope, the finale song from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Now, this finale song is a lot better than the finale song in Season 1, as obviously you can tell by the placement on this list. I love, again, all of heaven, all of hell coming together to stop the weapon from overloading and destroying each other. You get to see all the overlords, the hotel guests, Alistair, Rosie, the V's, apart from Vox, who's had his head ripped off at that point. They're all coming together because, you know, they don't want to die. And so they're using all their energy and they've come together in order to stop it. And I just love the breaking away in different areas. I love the loot section. I love the Alistair section. You know, there's so many different sections where you get to see what people are planning. You know, loot's going to come back in a massive way in future seasons. So let's see what happens there. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Fantastic song. Deserves to be this high on the list. I know some people may put it higher, and that is perfectly fine. But for me, that's about right. Okay, so moving on into 12th place then. Again, really, really tough. Was really a tough decision, but I'm actually going to go with another song from season 1. And it's a rivalry song. Alistair does take place in this particular song, and I'm actually going to go with the one Hell's Greatest Dad, where you've got Lucifer and Alistair basically verbally battling off against each other, you know, and Alistair is really taking the mick out of Lucifer. And Lucifer's basically like, well, I'm the dad, you know, I'm the greatest, I'm the king of hell, I can do this, you know, I'm here now, I can solve all your problems. And then Alistair's like, no, you're not stepping in here and trying to take Charlie from me now. I'm in control here, I'm the host of the hotel, she doesn't need you. She needs me, and I've got big plans for her in this hotel in the future. And you get that clash. And then I like that Mimsy comes in at the end to just interrupt the song, and Lucifer ends it by saying, who? You know, I love it. I love it. I think it's brilliant. Visually, it's great. I love the tempo. I love the beat. It goes from intense to just really fast-paced to cartoonish. It's really good and a really fun song. So that's why it's up here in 12th place on my list. Coming in 11th place, the song that's just missing out on the top 10, which is the most unfortunate position I think you could probably be in on this list. And that is actually going to go to Don't You Forget, the Rosie and Alistair version from season 2. There's 2 versions of Don't You Forget. There's Don't You Forget and Don't You Forget the Reprise. And yeah, this one just misses out on the top 10. I love it. We finally learned that obviously Alistair's made a deal with Rosie, and that Rosie's actually got Alistair in like a contract and a deal, and she's pulling the strings for him. And she's basically just reminding him of that, because he's sort of come to Rosie saying like, look, I lost to Adam. You know, I was supposed to be the most powerful sinner in hell. I'm lacking power. I've done what you wanted. I'm not putting up with this anymore. Fix my staff, you know, keep up your side of the bargain. And Rosie's like, sit down, boy, because I'm actually in control here, and you haven't fully fulfilled my deal yet, and so we're not done here. And remember, you haven't fully paid your debt back, so you're on my strings. I love the visuals. I love Alistair's sneaky looks that he gives. I love it when he's a puppet on her strings, and she's like, you know, he's like, he's basically saying like, I can't escape. She's like, you can't escape. But he's like, well, at least not yet. And I love all that. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen now in season 3 in the relationship between Rosie and Alistair. So that's why it just misses out on number in the top 10 spot, but it is a really strong song. Now we're into the top 10, and I just think all of these songs are just great. They are like 9s and 10s out of 10 for me. I think my least favourite song out of all 10 of these is probably going to go just to Stayed Gone from Hazbin Hotel Season 1. This is Vox and Alistair, you know, battling off against each other. They're not actually in the same room as each other, but Vox has learned that Alistair's actually still around through Valentino, and Alistair is then taunting Vox the whole time, and Vox is trying to get one up on Alistair, and it's not working. And I love Alistair at the end when he goes all full radio demon on Vox, when Vox trips out and all the electrics go, but the radio keeps going, you know, showing the radio's not dead, radio's not gone, and Alistair's like demented form, the demon form comes out, and he's like, I'm going to make you wish that I had stayed gone. And I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen here? Which is quite interesting then to see what happens then in season 2, and how Alistair plays Fox like a fiddle the entire time. And it's like, wow, okay, this is what we've been waiting for. So yeah, I do like Stayed Gone, and I think it is a good song. Then coming in the 9th place, then I'm going to give it then to the first song from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. So this is Hazbin Guarantee / Trust Us. So there's 2 halves to this song. There's the hotel side with Charlie and Co. And then there's the V Tower side. I adore the V Tower side. That's the half of the song I listen to more than anything else. The hotel bits is pretty good. But basically you got Charlie who's trying to convince everyone to stay at the hotel. You know, tell them why it's great, tell them what they need to do to redeem. They all leave and they say that they can't be violent, this, that and the other. And Vox then steals one of the guests, drags her in, and basically tries to say, yeah, you should trust us and you should join the Vs and support the Vs. You know, and I love all the visuals there. I love that you get duets and songs with Val Velvet and Vox. You know, I think it's fantastic. And it's a very catchy song, and I really do like it. So it deserves to be this high on the list for me, and I think it is absolutely amazing. Okay, then coming in 8th place, we've then got Once We Get Up There, which is, again, with the V's. It's a song just about Vox, Val, and Valentino. Vox, Velvet, and Valentino. And basically Vox is saying, this is the plan. When we get up there, this is what we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to take over heaven and hell. We're going to be able to rule them both. No one's going to, you know, mock us anymore. We are going to be the top dogs everywhere. And I think it is really, really good and great to see what each of the V's has planned. For once, they get what they want. And it's very different. And it gives you an indication that there's going to be some clashes. And we did get those clashes later in the season. So I thought there's a song here that really had a good payoff. And that's why I think it is absolutely amazing. Okay, then we have got in 7th place then. It's really tough. But I'm going to go then with Gravity from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. With Lute and Adam. I mean, Adam is gone, but he's come back in forms of like hallucinations and stuff in Lute's head, because Lute is like mourning the loss of Adam, really angry over the loss of Adam, and that is portrayed really heavily in this song. And Lute is basically out for blood and basically wants to get revenge. You know, and you can see that, the shadow effects of Lute for the song, you know, and she's supposed to be an angel, you know, the smashed glass, you know, the blood on Adam's guitar, you know, it's all symbols and signifying what Lute could be planning here, and it's not anything good. And Lute is definitely a sleeper villain who, as the seasons go on, is going to get more and more bloodthirsty, and I'm waiting for the big payoff of this. It's a very, very good song, very, very catchy, and is fantastic, and so deserves to be this high on the list for me. Coming in 6th place then, we are going to go with the other version of Don't You Forget. So this is the Vox and Alistair version. So Alistair is now given in to Vox. He is giving him a deal to be his prisoner, and Vox is just basically using that, taking advantage of that, and telling him that you're on my strings now, you're in my control, you can't leave unless I tell you, this, that and the other, and trying to get one up over Alistair again. But Alistair is still trying to play Vox a little bit and basically saying like, yeah, but you can't do anything without the V's, you can't do anything without support, and in fact, the fact you haven't killed me now, you know, shows that you actually still need me. And so Alistair's still trying to play him, and I think it's done really, really well. And all the visual storytelling here is great. The fact that a lot of the song, Alistair's ears are actually down, you know, which is quite interesting to say the least. But yeah, I think it's a fun, catchy song, and I definitely prefer it a little bit more than the Rosie Alistair variant. Okay, we have made it now into the top 5. And these are all really good songs, and I'm really struggling to determine which one's going to go where. But I think for me, in 5th place, I'm actually going to go with Vox Populi from Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Now this song, wow, really, really has come up in my estimations. I really like Vox Populi. I've probably listened to this one like 40 or 50 times. It's probably become an unhealthy obsession. And yeah, it is just great. You know, Vox is really building the people up. You know, you've got all his supporters, you know, like, you've got the stuff at the start with Lucifer coming down and threatening Vox and basically saying, I'm the big dog here. And then basically after learning information from Angel Dust, because Angel was a spy for Vox, spoilers, sorry, he knows that Lucifer actually can't do anything to him. So Vox isn't scared, so takes on Lucifer. And then basically by the end, Lucifer has to just walk away. And I just think it's funny and great. And I love the beat, the tempo. It's great. The dances that Vox does is brilliant as well. I love it. It is all really, really good. I do slightly prefer the Vox side over the Lucifer stuff. But the Lucifer solo is really good as well, by the way. But yeah, terrific song. Vox Populi definitely warrants being this high for me, in my personal opinion. Okay, now top 4. I think in 4th place, it's really tough now because these are some really good songs. I'm going to give in 4th place to my boy Husk, and it's going to go Love in a Bottle, which is the Husk solo song. And I think it's just great. Like Husk, if you know me, you know Husk is my favourite character from Hazbin Hotel in general. He is brilliant. I love Husk. And this song is really great. You get Husk going back to his roots, getting to go back to his old stomping grounds. He's getting to be a bit more free because at that point in the series, Alistair's been captured, so he has no reason to stay at the hotel. And so he's gone out gambling, he's gone out drinking, and he's having a bit of fun. You can see that he's actually enjoying himself again, because most of the time, apart from with Angel, he's miserable, but he's actually smiling and laughing through the whole song. You know, and I think it's really, really interesting, good, and it's catchy, and the visual storytelling is there beautiful, but he is also at the same time drinking himself and drowning away his sorrows as well. So you've got a bit of parallels there, but it is a really, really good song, and I'd highly recommend it. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. Right, then coming in to the top 3, is really difficult. But I think I'm going to give 3rd place to Poison from Hazbin Hotel, Season 1. I think Poison is an absolutely amazing song. This is the Angel solo song from the episode 4, Masquerade, which is a very dark one, where you learn a lot more about Angel. You see a lot of his work for Valentino, and see how he's getting abused every single day in work. And yeah, it is intense. But I think it is a fantastic song, really, really catchy, and means an awful lot more now with Season 2 and some of the revelations that we got. So yeah, I think Poison is great. Then, taking the silver medal and just missing out, and then by process of elimination you'll find out my favourite song in all of Hazbin Hotel, coming in 2nd place is going to Brighter from Hazbin Hotel, Season 2. Brighter, we get to see Vox as a human and how Vox came to hell in the first place. We got to see him try to go up through the ranks, through cheating, through killing people, manipulating people, doing basically what he does now in hell. You know, and some of the kills are intense, and it's interesting to see what happens. And the fact that he dies by a TV falling on his head and getting electrocuted, I just think, wow, that's like, what on earth is going on here? But I love the main chorus of Brighter. Some of the dance moves that Vox does as well are very interesting, to say the least. But yeah, what a fantastic song, and great that we got to see the Vox backstory. Interesting they did it through a song, but yeah, really good to see Vox's backstory a bit here, and hopefully they'll expand upon that again, maybe in Season 3. But obviously by process of elimination, my favourite song in all of Hazbin Hotel is Loser Baby from Hazbin Hotel, Season 1. My boy Husk and Angel coming together in a fantastic duet. Husk basically trying to comfort Angel in his time of need and say, you're not alone, because Angel is down on his luck and basically is fed up, you know, has to drink himself, do drugs, all this sort of thing to try and cope with the fact that he's Val's slave. And basically Husk is saying, look, I'm the same as you, I'm trapped, you know, due to Alistair, this, that and the other. You're not alone, we're both a mess, but we can be messes together. And the visual storytelling there is great. I love the lyrics, I love the visuals, I think it's great. They are both amazing. It is a banger of a song. I've listened to it time and time again, and it never gets old for me. So that's why for me, Loser Baby is my favourite song from Hazbin Hotel. Wow, that was a very long list, but that is going to be my list ranking every song from Hazbin Hotel, Seasons 1 and Season 2. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please like it by giving me a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on the songs from Hazbin Hotel Season 1 and 2. I'd love to know your lists, but let's keep all comments respectful, please. And subscribe if you are new, but for now, this is Nerdy Grail signing off. I hope you've had an amazing day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.